Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at the most important community day ever for PvP most likely here, because we're going to take a look here at the Pokemon Rookiedee with the final evolution Corviknight. This Pokemon not only has like a Gigantamax form in the future, which is kind of cool to get the candies already for this Pokemon I guess, and a Hundo maybe, okay, the Hundo doesn't really help you for that one, but maybe the candies for it already. But also this is going to be the best Pokemon you can have currently for PvP, because it's not only the rank 1 in the Open Great League as you're gonna see here right now, it's also the rank 1 in the Open Ultra League. So you have here basically the best Pokemon, and that is based on the new move Air Cutter. Air Cutter is a very interesting move for sure, a move that can boost your own attack for a 30% chance, a move that's very cheap, and a move that gives you some flying type coverage on this Pokemon. And you had already Sky Attack before. Sky Attack not the greatest move generally speaking, but Air Cutter is going to help you out quite a bit. It got actually so strong with this move that they had to already pre-nerf this Pokemon with Steel Wing. So what we can do as well, which I'm also going to do as soon as this video, like as soon as the community day is going to happen, which is going to be this weekend, I'm going to mostly take a look at this Pokemon still with Steel Wing, Air Cutter, and the Payback, because I think that is even the better moveset compared to the Sand Tag. But for the next season, Steel Wing already gonna get nerfed because it would be too overpowered having Steel Wing on this Pokemon as well. Anyway, let's take a look here real quick at the community day. Well, later on, of course, we're going to take a look at all the AVs that you maybe want to have and some top teams towards this Pokemon for Ultra League and Great League, 3 each. We're going to take a look here at what this community day is going to offer us. Otherwise, you're going to have 3 hours of instant lure, which you always have. We have 1/4 hatch distance, which is kind of, in my opinion, the worst of the bonuses, but again, I saw some people really enjoying that one as well, so again, it's for some people it's a nice one, for some people it's not really that interesting. For me, I don't really like that one, but we have candy, double candy from catching, double XL candy chance as well, which is kind of cool because you need some XL candy for this Pokemon as well. Not too many though, so like you shouldn't be really too worried about it. We have the photo bomb surprises. We're going to have one extra special trait, and we're also going to have for a week the option to evolve it to get this special move, Air Cutter. And again, it is going to be worth it for this Pokemon. It's really worth it to get this Pokemon with the new move. The new move going to be always kind of the best move to have on this Pokemon, in my opinion. There's not really any doubt about it, so then you can just decide on what other move you kind of want to have on it. So here, for Pokemon that you want to Mega Evolve, you're going to have different kind of flying type Pokemon. There are some more steel type, there are other Pokemon as well, I think. I know actually the pre-evolution Rookiedee is just a flying type Pokemon, so yeah, you kind of want to go for those Pokemon that you see here on the screen right now. Use adventure effects, especially spatial rent is kind of cool if you are driving around, anything like this, like Free Shock and Ice Burn are kind of cool in order to buff the chance of you catching Pokemon with your Go++. And then we have Roar of Time as well, if you want to maybe have your adventure instance on the same time. Helps you out quite a bit there. We have also now a shiny end that is already in the game at this current point of time. It's only been available for like a month or something, so it's like also a shiny demo I don't have yet. And honestly, it looks really cool there on the bottom. So yeah, again here by the way, graphics from Galax shows to you. Again, I have their graphics here basically in every single video. Best graphics in Pokemon, like for Pokemon Go there. Again, here, number 1 for Great League, number 1 for Ultra League. But what about the win rate? And you're gonna take a look here at this one. This is kind of the moveset that you can currently run. As you're gonna see here, in the current moveset, it's only gonna have an average rating of 455 for the next season. And we see here on how much of an impact the new moveset has with Air Cutter and Payback, getting up to a 528 average rating with a great bait move on the Air Cutter, which can boost your own attack, and then Payback to have great coverage against the current meta. Pokemon that are kind of difficult for you to deal with are going to be Charizard and Talonflame, of course, Charjabug, which I do think actually going to have a lot of play in the next season. We have Primeape. We're going to have here, Primeape is actually going to be alright for you because you have very fast damage with that Air Cutter, so I think it's actually a right matchup. Morpeko, of course, going to be a little bit of a trickier one for you, but generally speaking, Corviknight is only going to be weak against 2 different types, which is going to be fire and electric. And both of those types are usually weak to ground, which you have the Sand Tag for. So this Pokemon is going to be very good like this in the future. This Pokemon is going to be meta dominant for the next time being, because the way this Pokemon kind of functions is kind of crazy. It has like so much, it has a solid amount of bulk, has basically one of the best typings in the game, and has coverage against the Pokemon they kind of can't deal with, and great coverage for the current meta in the Payback. So we're going to take a look a little bit at like some interesting IVs. We're going to do the same for the Ultra League as well in this video still. And so we're going to take a look here at what you want to have. the number one rank 1 IVs for the Open Great League is a 0, 13, 14. That's the number 1. That's going to be the overall ranking here. We're going to have an interesting spread here though. We're going to have a 0, 6, 3, which has a few benefits, which we're going to take a look here real quick as well. But you don't need to have it. This is the thing here. The IV spreads are just for like certain matchups here. For example, here in this scenario, in the one-sheet scenario, you're going to be able to beat Duskclaw, which is kind of cool. I don't think that Swampert, Mandibuzz, or Bastion, I guess Bastion could be a little bit more common, going to be alright. You're going to be able to beat other Corviknight. I think there was an interesting matchup as well here. Here you're going to be able to win the Corviknight in the two-shield scenario. There are some small bulk and breakpoints that you can get with that one. Here against Gaston, you're going to win. There's just like some certain matchup they can get. Here, if we're going to take a look at the breakpoints, you're going to have a breakpoint mainly against kommo-o. That's why I went for that IV spread specifically, because if you have that breakpoint there, it's just going to make the matchup a little bit easier for you. Kommo-o is going to be a little bit of a common pick as well, but still, it's always going to be good for one for you. Generally speaking, for the Great League, I would recommend you to go for the standard move, like IV spread here, like the best kind of possible one of 0, 13, 14. But actually, I would really recommend you to go something for as a moveset as like something with like 2 or 3 attack, because at the end of the day, what you are going to see a lot of times is that you're going to see this exact same Pokemon, and here we still would have the breakpoints. We have like a few more matchups we maybe don't win straight away with that one, but you're going to be able to win Team Pitta against other Corviknights, which could come in clutch. Again, it's going to be a Pokemon that you're going to see quite often, but generally speaking, I would just recommend you to go for the best IVs you can find. Corviknight for the Ultra League is kinda a similar story. As you're gonna see here, this is the current moveset of this Pokemon, which would here go up against the next metas, next season metas there. But as you're gonna see, we're going to have a 28 win rate, 28 wins, 22 losses, and this is going to be quite alright already. But with the new moveset, we're going to up this to 33 wins and 18 losses, which is ridiculous. Crazy good average rating. Like, this Pokemon looks ridiculous for sure. And it's going to be super, super good to play. And here there's actually a bit more interesting breakpoints that I would maybe even recommend you to go for. Because here, this Corviknight specifically, this is the number one, which is a 0, 15, 15. This one is going to have a 6, 4, 14 IV spread. And you might think that's very, very random, that's very, very weird. Why would you want to run something like this? I will show you here right quick, because what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to win here an extra matchup in the one-shield scenario, where you're going to be able to beat Blastoise, because what you're going to have is a breakpoint against Blastoise. You have a breakpoint against kommo-o, you have a breakpoint against Skeledirge, and you have a breakpoint against Typhlosion and Bellibolt. So you're going to have like breakpoints against mainly your answers as well, which is kind of cool, doing about a little bit more damage there, which can help out in certain scenarios. You have some bulk points that you're going to miss here, Skeledirge for example as well, where you're going to take a little bit more damage from those, but I still think that this is actually a very nice trade-off here to have this kind of IV spread, because you're going to be able to win CMP types, and you're going to be able to break through a few Pokemon extra here. If you take a look at the Pokemon that you lose against, Greninja is not that common. Corviknight, again, you're most likely going to be more fine, because you're going to be able to win the CMP type against them. And Jellicent, I think, is still going to be an alright matchup for you anyway as well. And so against Blastoise, Cobalion, and Skeledirge, you have no chances of winning that one, the one shield, with this specific IV spread. And the two shields, we're actually going to be able to win 3 extra matchups just because of this cool moveset here. Against Skeledirge, you're going to win, against Blastoise, you're going to win. And we're only going to lose against Moltres, which is kind of, a matchup that's still going to be alright for you. And Gyarados as well, which is a Pokemon that most likely going to be more common next season. Hasn't been common at all this season, of course, but got buffed now, so we're going to have to see how this is going to go. But against a lot of Pokemon, you're actually going to be able to have a better time with this IV spread. Very interesting one here, 6, 4, and 14. There might be some more that work like this as well, but this one gets some nice breakpoints in the current meta. So I would actually recommend you to take a look at this Pokemon and see if you're going to have one with this exact IV spread for the Ultra League, because there are a few matchups that you're just going to be a bit better against. And so we can hop already into the top teams here for this Pokemon. We're going to take a look at the first Great League team. What I did basically is, for all the top teams, is to have a team where Corviknight is elite, a team where Corviknight is a safe-up, and a team where Corviknight is a closer. This Pokemon, in my opinion, excels especially in the lead position and in the safe-up position. Not so much in the closer position, but it's still kind of alright. The main reason for it is you don't really have the insane amount of damage output that you have here with this Pokemon. you mainly get like shield pressure because of the amount of shields that the amount of charge moves you're going to be able to throw with this Pokemon, and also with the potential to boost yourself. It's kind of nice in the lead because you can maybe flip some matchups that you wouldn't be able to flip otherwise. Anyway, we want to take a look at a more modern matchup, like a team here for the first team of the Great League. We're going to have Corviknight in the lead. We have the Quagsire as our face-up, and then a Dragon in the back. Dragonite is fine. Kommo-o is fine. Gastrodon is fine. All of those Pokemon are totally alright because you have the lead that's going to be able to beat the Fairy-type Pokemon. You have a Say-Stop that's going to be great at beating the weaknesses of the lead, Fire and Electric, but also still going to be neutral against the Fairy-type Pokemon that you most likely going to be able to bait out. And then you have your Dragon-type Pokemon in the back that's still going to be great against Electric and Fire-type Pokemon, but they don't really want to face those Fairy-types. So this is a great synergy between those. It's more of an ABB style line, even though you don't really have the ABB style back there in terms of the typing there. They kind of still have to fit together like this, and it's honestly such a cool kind of team idea, and this is going to work out super, super well. Here, Pokemon like Wigglytuff, you're still going to be alright with your Corviknight. I don't really think that Wigglytuff is going to be as good as PvP Poke suggests here either. Quagsire is going to be great against Carbink. I could see that maybe something else in the back could be kind of cool instead of the Dragonair, like different kind of Dragon-type Pokemon, basically. But yeah, this is going to be a great team to run. Honestly, I think it's a great team to run, and I think you will have a lot of success with this team if you give it a try. Team number 2 for the Great League here, we're going to have Diggersby, Corviknight, as well as the Charjabug. Charjabug I actually picked here mainly for the Credilli, but you can use something different as well. I could even see like Bug Bite having some play there. But yeah, Diggersby Corviknight is a very good core together because Diggersby is going to be your ground type that does ground type damage. But Corviknight has Sand Attack as a Faust move, so even if you're going to bait out something like a Bastiodon, you're still going to do damage. You still have some potential against this Pokemon, which is going to make this kind of an interesting setup together with a ground type in the lead. And then basically what you need in the back is a Pokemon that covers the weakness of the Diggersby, which is mainly of course the fighting type weakness or also the water type weakness, where you're going to have here the Charjabug, which can offensively counter the water types and defensively can counter the fighting type Pokemon. So there are other options there as well. The Denny is mostly the most meta common Pokemon that you can run instead there as well, but this is going to be a very, very solid lineup. Third team for the Great League, where we're going to run Corviknight as our closer. We're going to have an even better Say-Stop in the Steelix here, and the Swampert in the lead. Again, Mudboy together with Corviknight makes a lot of sense. There has been a team back in the day with the Skarmory and Mudboy, which was super common. Basically, nearly every single game you went up against it because it was so strong. We kind of are back in this kind of meta time because I think Mudboy plus Corviknight is going to be super, super common and very, very strong. Here we're going to see the Steelix as a Say-Stop. We're going to have the Corviknight in the back. They cover all each other's weaknesses quite easily. And yeah, it's going to be a very, very strong team to run here. And we can move on to the Ultra League teams for today. Corviknight, Credilli, and Kommo-o here. It's going to be an interesting matchup as well. This is going to be kind of similar to what we would have also been able to play for the Open Great League. But as you can see here, those three are kind of working really well together. You can use different Pokemon compared to like the, I can set off the Credilli as well. You can use a different Dragon-type Pokemon, for example, as well. Then you have an ABB style line. Credilli is kind of cool to bait out potential Fairy-type Pokemon while still kind of punishing them with Acid. So that's kind of the main idea behind it. But Corviknight, look at how strong this Pokemon is in this meta. It beats nearly everything other than Guzzlord, which he's still going to have a very solid matchup against, or the Bellybolt, which is not really something we're going to have a good matchup against. But as you can see here, this is going to be an insane team. And what we can do is we can move on to the next one, where we're going to see Guzzlord, the Corviknight is our Say-Stop, and the Venusaur in the back. Guzzlord Venusaur core is nearly perfect because Guzzlord has like the weakness to like those, especially Fairy type Pokemon, which Venusaur can counter, which also Corviknight can counter, but also the Fighting type Pokemon, which you're going to have a Pokemon that can offensively counter it, which is our Say-Stop with Air Cutter, and a Pokemon that can defensively counter it with the Venusaur's Poison typing. So you're going to be kind of alright here. This core itself looks absolutely fantastic for the Open Ultra League. As you're going to see here, this team going to have a lot of play here. And yeah, the final team is going to be Bellybolt, Lapras, and the Corviknight. Corviknight is a closer, again, not the most common one, but with a Pokemon like Bellybolt that only has one weakness, which is going to be ground, you're going to have definitely a lot of success having a Pokemon like Corviknight in the back, which can counter ground-type Pokemon. But also you're going to have, like here with Lapras, a Pokemon that can bait out certain Pokemon that you don't want to face with a Corviknight. For example, Electric-type Pokemon, and while still kind of punish them because you're going to be faster and you have still the Sparkling Area. But generally, also Corviknight is really cool because it can counter, now with the Air Cutter, a little bit easier the Virizion without really any risk, but also you can boost yourself up at the meantime as well, which is kind of cool. and it kind of really covers the weakness of Belly Bolt, which you're gonna see here as well. This team looks absolutely amazing. The worst Pokemon to face with the team is actually like the Guzzlord here, I would say. Guzzlord is going to be a bit tricky for this one, but this is going to be also it for today's video. This is going to be my video towards the new #1 Pokemon for PvP. I do think you definitely want to play this event. Hope the teams are going to work out for you. This, of course, for a new season. We only have a few more days left of this season. I still have to hit Legend, so pressure on me. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye bye.